You know that feeling when you're feeling great, your digestion is great, and then out of nowhere, the bloating hits, the cramping hits, and you're just wondering what you should eat. You're standing in your kitchen, staring at your fridge, just wondering what to eat next that won't cause your symptoms to be worse. Yeah, I know what that feeling is like because I also have IBS. Hi, my name is Veronica. I'm a registered dietitian who specializes in gut health, and I have a personal experience with IBS myself. Now, this video is going to cover what to eat when you're having an IBS flare. So we're going to cover what foods are safe, what foods to avoid temporarily, and I have a special surprise for you at the end of this video, so make sure you watch all the way till the end. But first, let's talk about what is actually happening during an IBS flare. So if you're not familiar, IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome, is a disorder of the gut-brain axis. What this means is that your gut and your brain are actually connected. So they're connected with nerves and they actually talk to each other. So your brain and your gut send signals to each other. So what this means is during a flare is that, for example, if you're feeling stressed, this can cause your gut to feel off. But it can also be in the reverse. If your gut is feeling off, it can make you feel stressed. This is a cycle. It's a vicious cycle. So what to know about this is that it's just important to know that just feeling stressed can make your digestion feel off. So IBS symptoms can be things like bloating, gas, abdominal pain, constipation, or diarrhea. There's two different types, or at least two different main types of IBS. IBS-C, which is constipation, and IBS-D, which is diarrhea. You can also have a mixture of both of those, or there's IBS-U, which is uncategorized. So it's kind of a mixture of everything, plus maybe some other symptoms. I'm going to share a little bit about my story. So when I finally decided to do something about my IBS symptoms, I looked into elimination diets. One of the first elimination diets I did was the paleo diet. If you're not familiar with what the paleo diet is, the paleo diet is designed from what people ate during the Paleolithic era. So this was things like meats, fish, chicken, also fruits, vegetables, and nuts. It avoids dairy and grains and beans. So when I did the paleo diet, I did feel a lot better, but not completely better. So then I looked into adding on the low FODMAP diet. Basically, the low FODMAP diet is a diet where you eliminate certain foods, basically carbohydrates, that have a higher amount of fermentation in the body. So when you go on the low FODMAP diet, you cut out or reduce the intake of high FODMAP foods. So this is things like certain types of vegetables, certain types of fruits, also things like onions, garlic. These are foods that can really irritate someone with IBS. And then certain types of dairy products. So I eliminated a lot of these foods, and on top of the paleo diet, I was feeling even better. So just to know that this is temporary. The low FODMAP diet is meant to be temporary. You actually reintroduce the foods to see which foods you tolerate the best. So you don't have to be eating low FODMAP completely forever, which is good because it's a very restrictive diet. You don't want to stay low FODMAP forever. It's only meant to be for 2 to 6 weeks. Then you start reintroducing the foods one at a time. Now, one of the first things I reach for when I'm having an IBS flare-up is ginger tea. Ginger tea is one of my favorite things when I'm just feeling off, my gut feels off, I'm having bloating, I'm having gas and constipation. I need something that's gonna calm down my gut quickly, and that is ginger tea for me. I really like the taste of it. It's soothing, it soothes my digestion. I feel a lot better. It's anti-inflammatory. Now, if you're not a big fan of ginger tea or ginger flavor in general, you can try peppermint tea. So peppermint tea has similar effect as ginger tea. It actually is an anti-spasmodic, and it helps to dull the pain in your gut. So if you're having a lot of abdominal cramping, peppermint tea is a good way to go as well. So now what I focus on if I'm having a flare-up, aside from ginger tea, is starting with proteins. I focus on high protein foods, things like chicken, fish, eggs, turkey. Now, these foods typically are gentle on your gut. They're lean in protein, or they're lean protein sources. So it's a good place to go. And your body needs protein. So that's number one thing for me. Number two thing when I'm having a flare-up is to focus on low FODMAP carbohydrates. So this would be cutting out certain types of grains. For me, having IBS-C, white rice does not work for me because it slows down my digestion. But if you have IBS-D with diarrhea, that's actually a good thing. So eating white rice is actually better for you because it's going to slow down your digestion and improve the diarrhea. So it just depends on your body. So make sure that you test these things out for yourself. I also try to limit or avoid bread. Bread also does the same thing to my body. It slows down my digestion, so it's just going to make my symptoms worse. Again, make sure you test this out for yourself. Wheat does typically irritate a lot of people. Again, you need to make sure you try this out for yourself to see what you tolerate the best. Now, I also focus on low FODMAP fruits. Kiwi is really great for digestion. Blueberries. There's a whole variety of fruits you can eat, but those are a couple of the ones I like to go with. And then I also focus on low FODMAP vegetables. And this is things like green beans and zucchini. Carrots are also great. So, you just need to focus on those vegetables that are lower in FODMAPs because you're going to have less digestive symptoms. So let me give you an idea of a sample meal plan and what I eat during my IBS flare-ups. So first thing in the morning, I'll have some ginger tea. I will also have coconut milk yogurt. I tolerate this really well. You could also do lactose-free yogurt. So if you're a big fan of yogurt, that's a good idea. You can also have some blueberries with your yogurt. So that's an example of a breakfast. For lunch, I like to have something, again, very simple. Some baked or grilled chicken breast, also with some type of vegetable, with steamed green beans, and then either a side of potatoes or quinoa. And then for dinner, I like to have some salmon or some type of white fish with some lightly sauteed zucchini and olive oil. And I should have mentioned earlier that you do want to make sure you go lower fat during a flare-up, because eating high-fat, greasy foods can make your digestive symptoms worse. You don't want to eliminate fat completely. Focus on healthy fats like olive oil. So make sure you do include that, but just in smaller quantities. Okay, now getting back to my meal plan, you do want to also, include a nice snack. I like to have a snack once in a while. This could be something like some kiwi, I like to have, or a handful of blueberries again, something very simple. Also, if you want to incorporate more protein, it could be eggs, like a hard-boiled egg. So this is just an example. Obviously, there's other things you can eat, but I just wanted to share what I would eat during a flare-up. So there you go. Now, I know that flare-ups can be hard. I've been there. I know that what it's like, and it's really hard when you're doing really well with your IBS symptoms and the flare-up comes out of nowhere. Like I said, this can be triggered by stress, so, or it could be triggered by something you ate. But the good thing to know is that there are things that you can do. Now, I do have an IBS rescue guide, or IBS Flare-Up Rescue guide, and this walks you through everything. So it takes the thinking out of it for you, because the last thing you want to do when you're having a flare-up is researching what you should do and what you should eat. So the link to this flare-up guide is in the description below, so make sure you check it out. The IBS Flare-Up Rescue Guide has a meal plan. It has what foods you should eat or can eat during your flare-up. It also walks you through some stress relieving strategies. So it's definitely a great guide to have. And like I said, you can check it out below. Now, if you like this video, make sure you like it and subscribe so you can find out the next videos that are coming out, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.